Take long, and we are back. Classic Lanes Greenfield. We're in practice mode. We'll get underway momentarily. There you see Vance Vetter, Andy Mills, your current top two. Pardon me, your current 3 and 4. Second seed Chad Moss weighing in the wings for the win of this match, and David Brown, who had himself one heck of a cashier's round. Brown on games of 288, 246, 221, 211. Jumped in the lead from outside the top 4. And made his way into the step ladder. It's going to be a pretty quick practice for these players since we had a pretty quick turnaround. No rear oil. So 2 shadow balls on each lane. That's what these players are going to receive here with the Greenfield Classic. So it should be a couple more practice balls on each lane, and we should be underway. $3,000 on top for the winner of this step ladder, the Greenfield Classic. Plus, as always, with 10 on the Deck production events, glad to have Holtz Motors on board again, as they will be giving their bucket of love car care products worth over $150 to the interior and exterior of a bowler's vehicle, or whoever they give it to. I know a lot of bowlers. I know the owner here at Classic Lanes Greenfield, Gina Dereshevsky, won a bucket during the Bruce City Bowling Show last year. And she enjoyed being able to clean her vehicle as we went through. As soon as we get the announcements from Jason Becker, Jason Becker, we will be underway.
Your prize for the day is 16th place got 400, 15th got 425, 14th got 440, 13th got 455, 12th got 470, 11th got 485, 10th got 500, 9th got 515, 8th got 530, 7th got 550, 6th got 625, 5th got 725. The loser of this first round match will get $1,000.
All right, let's get the arrows up. Let's get underway. Jason Becker, thanks for taking care of everything today. We're running the event along with John Schwengel. Katie Thousand Kim Schroeder all taking your business. Andy Mills. Getting ready to toss that first shot. Let's get underway with Stepladder. First game of our Stepladder. Mills had lane choice. He wants hammer in hand. When he gets to the 10th frame, 6 does the job on the 10. Well played, Mr. Mills. Mills' game in the cash is around 211, 196, 235, 243. Vance Vetter, his game's 233, 178, 200, 223. Not a great cashier's round for him, but makes it hold on for the number 4 spot. Cody Weigel finished 27 pins out of the Stepladder, and that is not the stop Vetter wanted. You see him walking back on that 7 count. Head held low. Give you a rundown of your players that finished in 16th through 5th. Paul Kaboski, great last game to even just make the cashier's round, 279. Kaboski takes home $400. 15th place, Matt Hibbert, $425. Dale Sturmel in 14th place for $440. And no lucky bounce or break there for Vetter and the early open frame. Vetter's going to recompose himself here. No rear oil after the cashier's round. Nice crowd at the bar here. Here at Classic Lanes Greenfield. Oh, that had a little double dribble to it for Vetter. And I'll tell you what, he should be happy. That one took care of some business. See what Mills can do here to double. Second frame. Oh, smash 7. That'll be a little painful for Mr. Mills. Nice crowd still in attendance here. Watching our finals. There you see everybody hard at work at the bar. There you see our band setting up. See Justin right there getting his guitar ready for a little while. Place is going to be rocking as soon as we are done with this Stepladder. And Mills with a conversion and an early 12-pin advantage. Some of your other cashiers today, Dave Bear is in 13th place for $455. 12th place, Brett Pinnaker, coach of the Greenfield High School program. You'll see Greenfield High School bowling next week on the Brew City Bowling Show, 9:30 Saturday morning on My 24. They'll be battling Racine Park in that fun Fast 5 format as, wow, he goes from a smash 7 to a cold 9. And we'll see what kind of adjustment Mills makes here. He's in the pocket. You can't make a big change, but you got to do something to get those single pins out. Once again, Brew City Bowling Show Saturday mornings on My 24. First round of our high school invitational was this morning. Not going to spoil anything if you missed it or put it on your DVR. And Mills with the spare. But glad to have high school bowling back on the airwaves in southeastern Wisconsin. Jim Schroeder finished in 11th place, $485. 10th place, Dakota Solanka took home $500. And there you go. Vetter can't get the 4 to go. And the crowd watching intently as we're here early in this match. Spare here, Vetter still finds himself down by 11 pins, but a long way to go, 7 frames remaining. Once again, if you're joining us late, Chad Moss is your number 2 seed for tonight's stepladder. Your number 1 seed, David Brown. Brown with a heck of a casher's round to get himself from outside the top 4 into the 4th spot. Vetter taking the lane out of playing with that polyester ball, and the spare is made. Full field today, 64 bowlers saddled up, and we want to thank our sponsors as we go along in the stepladder. First of those being the Tipsy Turtle Patio and Grill out on Boxhorn Drive in Muskego. All the bowlers that pay their entry prior to December 31st were automatically entered into $1,500 pot games that were paid out throughout the 8 games of competition today. Thanks to the Tipsy Turtle for that. And there you go for Vetter. Finally gets himself a strike on the board. Still finds himself down by 11 pins. There you see Mills, always Natalie dressed. Always with the pants matching the jersey and the arm sleeve. And there you go. Mills finally gets all 10 to go for the first time since the first frame. 11 pins remains the lead. Maximum score 268 for Mills, 258. Pardon me, 269 for Mills, 258 for Vetter. How about it, Mr. Mills? You like it for a double? Oh, and now instead of the smash 7, it's the light 7. It's just one of those ball reactions that Mills has right now where you just got to go, what can I actually change? You don't want to give the lane away. You don't want to make it where all of a sudden you change to something that gives you an all or nothing reaction. He's just got to fine tune it. And while you're in the lead, it's easy to fine tune. Let your opponent be the one worrying about playing catch up on this 40-foot pattern. 31 and just over 31.5 milliliters in the pattern. It was about a 4-to-1 ratio on both sides of the lane. Forward and reverse oil passes practically identical. And once the pattern got chopped up a little late in the game, some players found it, some players didn't. A lot of players rode the roller coaster today, as you see there with Vetter. Down by 11, looking to make it a single pin advantage for Mills. If Vetter can strike here in the beer frame. Oh, a little quick out of the hand. Oh, and it was almost a pocket 6 pin. My goodness. Vetter using that angle, coming back in and almost popped the pocket 6. Some other finishers today. Blake Rieger in 9th place took home $525, and in 8th place, Tony Oliva took home $550. Feather, you can see there, getting that shoulder nice and relaxed through the swing. That's a little left to target. Yeah, that's a lot of 9. We saw some balls later on in the block today during qualifying. It maybe touched the left side of the head pin and it missed that large. Now, not a lot of games on the pattern at this point, as you see Dave Barras hanging around watching things. Kevin Stevens as well. And let's see what Vedder can do here on the spare. All over it. Spare made. Great toss there by Mills. So there's your score. Mills possible 249, 247 max for Vedder. Mills up, 7th frame. What do you think, Andrew? Oh. I think he's happy he's going to be finishing on lane 12 if he gets to that point in the match where he's in contention, because after that opening strike, he's gone solid 9, light 7, and now wrap 10. Stalks the line, out of the hand, and he likes it. So yeah, foundation frame, only frame remaining on lane 11 for Mills. Something tells me the way Vedder's been throwing the ball all day, it might be a mandatory strike situation for Mills when he steps back up in the 9th. Give you that nice over the shoulder look. Advance Vedder. Vedder, that 178 game. Low game of the day during the cashers round. Pretty incredible out of 12 games. And how about that? Messenger takes out the 10 pin. And not even a, come on, Vance. That's worth a little bit of a smile. You're down by 2 pins, but now you have the better max score of 237 compared to Mills. 229. Of course, to get to that max score, it's going to take 5 more strikes for Vedder. As bowlers don't realize cameras on tables can move as we get bounced around a little bit. Is that going to hold? Oh, it did hold. He missed left. In the 6th frame, it jumped high, almost left the baby split, and that wasn't that much farther right than what we saw earlier. So Mills looking to respond in kind in his 8th frame, keep himself within 8 pins. Looks pretty solid out of the hand. Oh, and the 6 just doesn't do the job on the 10. So, yeah, Mills is going to have to strike in that 9th frame to really keep putting pressure on Vedder, as Vedder's going to have the chance to make Mills' 10th frame a moot point, as Mills gets a conversion. Other top finishers, 7th place is Ben Hafman. Hafman had a nice run early in cashers round, just couldn't get there. Probably another game or two could have gotten him in the step ladder. Hafman takes home $550 for 7th. Jake Kent, $625 for 6th, and Cody Weigel, first man out of the step ladder, $725. Loser of this match taking home 4 figures. First one a 1, and the rest are all zeros behind it. $1,000 Must strike to keep the pressure on. There you go. Mills finally figures out the riddle of lane 11. And now it's up to Vetter to just end it. If Vetter doesn't strike here in the 9th frame, gives Mills a chance. Oh, wrap 10, and did you see that messenger? It was standing up all the way across the deck, still missed the 10 pin. Unbelievable. My goodness. Just heartbreaking there for Vetter. So 216 now, the max for Vetter. That lets Mills go double and 9 in the 10th. So basically, whatever Vetter does after a spare here, Mills can match to win. Uh-oh. And that's in the gutter. Terrible time for that mistake by Vetter. And now that leaves him with a max of 2-0. That just lets Mills get the first one in the 10th if Vetter gets the full punch. If Vetter doesn't double in the 10th frame, it's just going to let Mills need a mark. With good count. So Vetter has to recompose himself. Here in the 10th frame. That time the 6 does the job on the 10. And you just see the disappointment on Vetter's face. And sometimes it's so much easier to throw a good shot after you let the mental mistake happen. You get a little pissed off at yourself. Get that focus back. And now Mills is just going to need a mark. Any mark in 7 pins will be a winner for Andy Mills. Of course, if he strikes on the first ball attempt, it's all moot. Because then he'll just need 6 pins on 2 shots. So let's see what Andy can do here to get focused. 2 for 4 on strikes on this lane here in the Stepladder final. Match number 1. Looking to strike again. There you go. And just keep the ball in the lane, Andy Mills. And you're going on to face Chad Moss. So Mills is going to do a smart thing here. Grab another piece of equipment. Use that interchangeable thumb. And give yourself a little time to experiment. Knows he only needs 6, 8's more than enough. And nothing left but the handshake and the writing of the $1,000 check to Vance Vetter. 4th place. So coming up next, Chad Moss, Andy Mills. Chad Moss will get 2 shuttle balls on each lane. And then we will be underway here for our second stepladder game. Here's the handshakes. Congratulations.
All right, Andy Mills defeats Van Speder 206-194. Moving on to face Chad Moss. Chad, you'll get 2 shots on each lane.
Yeah, once again, we want to thank all of our sponsors there. Already told you about the Tipsy Turtle Patio and Grill, their early bird pot games. Irish Cottage for their sponsorship of the early bird. Eliminator pot, over $1,000 in that Eliminator pot. Want to thank Bowlers Headquarters for bringing us in today for the live stream. It'll be open first thing Monday morning, 11 a.m. to service your bowling equipment, whether you need new equipment, whether you need some new accessories, new shoes, or can't stress it enough, take great care of the surface of your bowling balls. If you got something that's old and hasn't been well cleaned in a while, use your Christmas money you're still sitting on in your wallet, bring it into Bowlers Headquarters with your bowling ball, get a resurfacing and rejuvenation done. Professionally. Thanks again to Chad Kloss, Gus Yanaris, Will Welch, John Schwengel from Bowlers Headquarters for bringing me in for the live stream. And also want to thank our host today, Classic Lanes Greenfield. Gina Dershevsky and her staff, wonderful today. And they have a great Brewers opening day bus trip. Tickets are still available. Give them a call here, 414-282-6400. You get a bus to and from American Family Field. Get yourself drinks on the bus both ways. Get yourself a nice buffet at American Family Field. And seats in the Aurora bullpen. McCall here, Classic Lanes Greenfield. For opening day, and come in and check out the new menu as well. Great brunch menu on Sundays and, well, Saturdays as well. Had the breakfast burger this morning. Spectacular. Never would have thought the words maple and mayo would go together, but oh, that was a good condiment on that breakfast burger. Soft scrambled eggs so it doesn't get sloppy. You know, you get the egg yolks always get sloppy, and then you just put a sunny side up egg on it. Gets a little tough to eat. Your hands? Oh, no problem with that this morning. So thanks again to everybody here at Classic Lanes Greenfield for being great hosts once again for a tournament. So Chad's got one more left in each lane as he figures out what piece of equipment he wants to use. And then we'll be underway with stepladder match number 2. David Brown waiting in the wings. Take on the winner of this match. Loser of this match takes home $1,200. Winner guaranteed $1,500, but of course it's at $3,000 on top. Everybody wants to take home, along with that Holtz Motors Champions bucket full of great car care products from Adams Polishes. And let's get the announcements now from Jason. Lane choice has been made. Something tells me he's going to make Andy Mills start. Yep. Mills is going to start.
All right, loser of this match will get $1,200.
So we are underway with our second stepladder match, championship match coming up next with David Brown taking on the winner of this match. And you can see there, Mills instantly looks at the thumb, so not sure if he had a thumb patch that maybe came off or maybe not even a patch, maybe even just a little bit of skin. Already has 13 games in today plus some practice. Oh, and a bad break there for Mills with the chop. Moss in the Cashers round games at 237, 180, 258, 239. Started the day off on fire, 279, 277 for his first 2 games. As he opens with a strike. Then he ran the lanes 3 and 4. 3 and 4 got a lot of people today. 169 his third game, bounced back with 258, and then kept it consistent all the way through the rest of qualifying. 222, 182, 215, and 231. Moss making sure with that chamois oils off the ball. We're just waiting on lane 10 to give a new set of pins. Don't want to be distracted by some sudden movement down lane. Lane 12 has the pins. Lane 11 ready to fire for Moss, looking for the double. What do you think? Oh, blower 7. Andy Mills goes, hey, I remember that from last game. You see the smile on Moss, because Mills instantly went back and told somebody that. So Moss, he likes to stay with the strike ball for left side spares. He'll give it a little baby hook, far from the scenic route for Chad Moss. And all over that 7-pin. 12 pins, the early advantage after a frame and a half. Andy Mills during qualifying, and then finishing in 3rd place. High game 254 in game 7. Low game 208 in game 6. So one of those rare players to actually have all 8 qualifying games over 200 on this Greenfield Classic pattern. And once again, 40 foot was the original application. 31.5 mils, about half and half, forward and reverse for those of you that are pattern junkies, and about a 4-to-1 ratio. Inside to out. There you see Chad Moss not really paying attention to what his opponent's doing. Bowling his own game, great way to do it. You don't want to see an opponent get a lucky break on occasion. And Mills shreds the rack and gets himself only down by 2. That's one of the great things about the scoring system of bowling Louis Stein came up with in 1895. I was not a fan of that World Bowling Tour scoring. I get it. You want people to know what the score is right away. With, 30 for the strike, first ball count plus 10 for the spare, and whatever you had for an open frame. But it was just so abhorrent when a normal Dutch 200 game with the standard bowling scoring system, as Moss continues to strike on lane 12. Dutch 200 with the Louis Stein scoring system became 245 in the World Bowling Tour, plus only needing 10 strikes for a perfect game. Kind of took away some of the extra excitement. Remember, Don Barrett shot a 300 at Woodland Bowl during the World Bowling Tour finals in conjunction with a PBA event. And at the time, he was given the $10,000 bonus and credit for a perfect game. You got to keep the 10 grand, but the annals of the PBA do not reflect that WPT perfect game any longer, and splits the 8 and the 9. Well done, Chad Moss. And Chad back out to a 12-pin advantage. Mills with the ginger toss of the rosin bag onto the table. Working on that double. Here you see that long span, curls that ball up onto the forearm, drops it down a bit. And how about it? 3 in a row, yes indeed. Once again, he didn't have that much in the way of carry problems on lane 12 in our opening stepladder game. It was lane 11, 3 shots in a row with a blower 7, stone 9, and weak 10 that really kept that match close with Vance Vetter. Four in a row. Oh, a little Rob Stone pork product for Andy Mills. And a big back and forth battle here from a couple of players I won't want to ever have to bowl against for a title in an event here in Wisconsin. Chad Maas definitely going to be a future Wisconsin State Hall of Famer. Not sure if he was already in the Milwaukee Hall of Fame. I don't think he's old enough as of yet. And Andy Mills has had a pretty successful career as well. Oh, cave the 7 and the 10. Maas had a 7-10 on lane 3 earlier today during qualifying that I actually went back and found the replay for because it was just, you don't see a smash 7 and weak 10 very often. That leaves a 7-10, and that's exactly what Maas did at that point in time. So Maas, as you can see from the scoreboard, back up by 2 pins. And make it another Rob Stone pork product. Not sure exactly what may have been said there. Between Mills and Maas. And back and forth, watch out. It is a battle here. And once again, crowd checking things out. Keeping an eye. Hey, there's Steve Belanda, front row Steve. Great writer for RotoWire. Lots of advice on fantasy sports, and he's going to be having some PBA wagering advice. As that's now 6 in a row for Mills, and Maas has to answer to keep the lead. Maximum score for Mills, 278. Maximum score for Maas, 280. Maas looking for his 5th in a row. The only blemish on the scorecard, a spare in frame number 2 this game. Stares it down. Wow, that went from a 4-9-10. Yeah, you better smile on that one, young man. That went from a 4-9-10 to a strike in a heartbeat. And Andy Mills is going, how do you carry? Look at that. He's going, how do you carry like that? He's asking people, what do you need to do? And Dave Barris just sits there and smiles because he's seen it before as Maas's teammate for many, many years. If that didn't make you jump out of your chair for those of you watching at home, I don't know what will right now. To keep the lead at a temporary 12. Can Maas throw the half dozen? He gave the high hard one that time. Come back in the picture, Chad. And this is just a heavyweight battle. Mills looking for his 7th strike in a row after that first frame open. How about it, Andrew? No, quick. Wow. Never responded to the friction. He's lucky. It took the 10 down. That gives Moss a lead over 20 pins, and this isn't exactly the easiest spare in the world to pick up with that 1-2-8. Flatter part of the pattern, especially in the middle. Will he get 3? Yes, he does. And actually, he would have picked up the washout as well. But let's take a look at that scoreboard. Mills looks up as well. Sees that his maximum score is 255. That gives Moss a little breathing room for a spare in there. You see Moss on the, Moss not even looking, not even in the building at the moment. Mills looking to bounce back. There you go. So that leaves 255 for the maximum for Mills, but even if, let's say, Chad goes 9 spare here in the 9th, he could strike out in the 10th for 259. So Chad Moss could end this. Strike here in the 9th, strike in the first ball in the 10th. And that'll get him in the 250s with good count on the second shot of the 10th. Stares it down, and you see why. A little cleaner than the last shot on lane 12. But there you go. There's your scoreboard. So 9 spare strike is 259. Eight spare eight's 256 and still enough for Moss. You know he knows the situation. He had that little glance at the scoreboard. This is what these weekend warriors at these bowling tournaments do. They thrive for this competition. They might not be out on the PBA tour, but they love every chance they get to take home a title. Just laced it. Absolutely laced it. And there you see the flex and the handshake. And now we're just going to fast forward through the rest of the match. That just leaves us with one thing here. Remaining the championship match. And it's going to be a solid championship match as we're going to have Chad Moss taking on David Brown for the title. So David Brown's going to come on. He'll get 2 shadow balls on each lane. And then we'll be underway with our championship match. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in and watching the finals of this 2026 Greenfield Classic. Once again, I want to thank all of our sponsors for today's competition. The Tipsy Turtle Patio and Grill out in Muskego. The Irish Cottage in Franklin. Bowlers Headquarters. Classic Lanes, Greenfield. And it's up to David Brown to get his shadow balls in.
268, 255. Move on to the championship match against David Brown. David, you'll get 2 shots on each lane. Let me get him in this quick. in the bet you win, which is an extra $660.
Well, it would have been nice to know before this match started that there was a bet to win today. All right, so $3,660 for the winner. Yeah, live streamer doesn't need to know tournament details. No big deal. I'm not worried about people. I appreciate you asking people to hit the like button in the chat. Just share that you watched and let people know you just saw a really good match between Andy Mills and Chad Moss, and you're probably going to see another really good one here between David Brown and Chad Moss. As they're battling for the apparent total of $3,660 for first place, $3,000 from the tournament, and then there was I would assume it was a $20 bet to win pot that bowlers had the opportunity to get into before competition started today. Appreciate all the thanks in the chat from everybody. Appreciate everybody watching. Appreciate you watching us juggle cats. Over 16 lanes of bowling, over 8 qualifying games, 4 cashers round games, and now the third game of the stepladder. We're going to need to get David a full rack on lane 12. He's missing the 3-pin currently, so that'll take a second here. As he'll get the re-rack. Should have 1 shadow ball remaining on each lane, and then he'll have lane choice, and we'll be underway with the championship. Once again, I want to thank Jason Becker. You'll see him standing in the set T area for taking care of business all day long as tournament director, assistant tournament director John Schwengel. Scorekeeper is Katie Thousand, Kim Schroeder. Couldn't have had the day run so smooth without their help as well. And we should be ready to get underway here. Handshakes, ready to rock and roll. Time for the championship match of the 2026 Greenfield Classic, this inaugural event. And Brown making the lane choice decision. Let's see if he has Chad finish on lane 12. And he will. Any announcements from Jason before we get started? Maybe? Nope. And we're underway with the championship match. $3,660 for first place here. And the runaway crossover, hey, guess what? You can't give it back, Chad. I know you're not happy about it. But the strike is recorded on the board in accordance with USBC rules. And, there you see David Brown. He's been in urethane. One of the few players in urethane all day. Playing that very direct line. You'll see the over-shoulder look here in a moment on his first frame. And you'll see the difference in the lines they're playing. There you see much farther right to start with for Brown. And that ball maybe have an overall 9 or 10 boards a hook just outside of third arrow, I should say. And we're even at a strike apiece in our championship match. Just a little difference in the prize money. $1,500 for second. So nothing like a little, $1,260 difference between winning your match and losing your match when it comes down to 10 frames. You got to put it in the back. You got to put it out of your mind. You can't even put it in the back of your mind. You got to put it out of your mind. You're just here to get the title. The money's secondary. Don't get me wrong. Money to make for a nice dinner once you're done tonight. Either way you look at it. Could be a run out to the tipsy turtle. There's no way that's getting back. Yeah, not with urethane. You just saw the ball come real quick off the thumb for Brown, and you do not want to leave a player of Moss's caliber an early opening, because 9 times out of 10, Moss is going to jump all over it. About a 1 in 4 chance of picking this up for a bowler of Brown's caliber. What do you think? Nope, not far enough over, no bounce, and the early open frame could give Moss a big early advantage as Moss walks back in the picture. There you see Moss, H5G jersey on, part of Team H5G, along with Dave Barris, Matt Hibbard, David Lubinsky, the 4 steady players in that team the last few years. Let's see if Moss makes a gentle move left with his feet. Keep the ball on line. Oh yeah, absolutely flush. Makes the adjustment. From that 10th frame shot last game. You never know what a couple of shots with urethane is going to do from your opponent. And Moss has made the right move here to open up this championship match. Third frame for Moss. I know it's not the Brew City Bowling Show. I know we're not spicing up anybody's turkey with Penzies. But he can make this match a little spicy here with another strike in the third. Oh, wow. Yeah, you see him. I didn't think he gave it that much extra, but apparently the ball thought otherwise. Doug, some people can jam urethane here at Classic Lanes Greenfield. Some of us that had lower rev rates that tried doing that back in the day with pitch blues and such, not so much. Definite rev rate needed. Wow, and Moss hands it back. And that back count on the double, that's 5 pins difference on the scoreboard early on. See if that comes back to haunt Moss a little later in this championship match. I don't believe that's urethane for Moss. It's got too much pop. We definitely have urethane here for Brown. Purple hammer. Is that going to hold? It held, but just when it got to the pocket. So that's going to keep Brown in arrears by 5 pins with the spare. Point A, point B, best way to do it. Polyester in hand. And well done, Mr. Brown. So there you see the temporary 5-pin advantage, depending on count here, for Brown. Goes to the rosin bag. I love the rule the PBA has now. I wish leagues would go to it. I wish tournaments would go to it. You have to leave the rosin inside another type of container, a bag, a Ziploc, whatever, so it just doesn't get hit and bounced and have dust all around. I pull so much dust off my live streaming equipment at tournaments. I'll have to clean all these lenses off today before we go live tomorrow. Country Lanes, 23rd Milwaukee Open. Starts 9 a.m. tomorrow with A squad qualifying, noon for B squad. And a little overcorrection from the mistake in the second frame for Brown. And then for the Milwaukee Open, the top 1 and 3 qualifiers will advance to the match play bracket beginning at 3 p.m. 2-game total pin matches in that bracket, buys assigned if necessary and available. And we will crown another champion of a great scratch event this weekend here on a 10 on the Deck production live stream. Quality cover. Eight pins the advantage from us. Fourth frame. Yeah, Moss, long time bowler with Brunswick equipment. I remember when he first came out of youth leagues and started bowling Monday nights here in the big Greenfield Classic League. Chad was from Brunswick equipment then, even before he was on staff. Oh, 4 goes, 9 goes, and wow, that ball is, oh, the 9 goes. The 9 really goes. We need to get a score correction there. Obviously, rack nowhere near it. I don't know what twirled around. You couldn't see it behind the rake and took the 9 down, but holy cow. You talk about another huge break in the stepladder game. We saw it with the 4-9-10 last game from Oz against Mills that got him through, kept the strike string going. And now the late falling 9-pin. That 8-pin lead can now suddenly turn to 18 if he can take advantage of the break he created. How about a double? No, too fast. And he looks a little puzzled there. He maybe thought it was a better shot than it was. Good news for him, doesn't give any count back on the strike. Bad news is about 18 ways to miss this 2-4-5-8. He's staring it down. Did he get too much? Yeah. I almost thought that was going to snap too hard and chop the 5, but he picked it up. Somebody in the chat looked like I just looked over and said danger zone, so I'm assuming that's a new one that just came out. Pretty value-priced ball, but I'll tell you what, that's some exquisitely priced motion that Moss is able to put on that. Let's see what Brown can do here. Beer frame. Looking to stay within 8. Pop the 10. Oh, yeah. Pop the 10 and scrambles everything else. So there you go. Maximum score, 245. For Brown. 243 for Moss. So a strike here in the 6th frame. That'll give Brown the 2-pin advantage. Making sure that grip's good. I can't blame him. Long day of bowling so far. Brown's 13th game, Moss's 14th game. We started 9 a.m. this morning. I'm in the hour 14 of everything between setting up and the tournament. Glad to do it for everybody at home to watch, and glad to do it again tomorrow for the Milwaukee Open. He likes it. There you see why. Ball turns, ball sets up, and now the 2-pin advantage for Brown. 4.5 frames remaining. Both these bowlers making sure that pre-shot routine does not change. Get it together. Chad checking out, making sure he's not going to get disturbed by some of the activity going on down lane. Love that old school ABC Eagle on the back of the jerseys for Team H5G from some of the events they've won at the USBC National Championships. You saw Chad give that one a little more loft. Delay that back end reaction. And now a strike here regains the lead. Anything less, and Brown can really get an extension on to a 4-bagger and really put the pressure on Moss in the 8th and 9th frames. Oh, you guys have been awesome today. Thanks everybody for watching. Hopefully you join us again tomorrow at some point in time during the day. There you go. There's the double for Moss. Lead temporarily back to 5 pins. Well, we try to see the scoreboard there, but somebody's bouncing the table. Our camera's on. For 3 in a row. Oh, Brown liked it for a while. Last 3 feet snuck up to him. And now it's lead back to Moss. 243 the maximum for Moss. 224 the maximum for Brown. And there you go, your scoreboard with 3 frames remaining. And tell you what, Brown's going to definitely make sure the grip's good on this shot. Little extra rosin. That chamois is going to get a little extra pressure on the ball, make sure all that oil's off that urethane cover stock. The big exhale. And looking to keep the chance of 224 and his chance at that $3,660 for first place and the bet to win pot alive. I think you'll like it. And wow, that creeped up on the end again. I'm a bit surprised. I don't know if he's surprised. I thought that was going to be just absolutely flush in the hole. Nothing near the 4-pin. So once again, that's going to take his maximum score down to 213. And Moss can pretty much end it. With strikes in the 8th and 9th, keep piling on that double on the scoreboard for Chad Moss. Spare made, but trouble had for David Brown. So if Moss goes 9 spare here, it's basically a 1-pin game. A strike here keeps a big advantage. Piling on that string of strikes. 10 for your strike, and your next 2 balls is so huge in the Stein scoring system. There's that loft again. Oh, I don't know about you at home, but I got a little tingle on that shot. Ooh. That messenger came back at about Mach 3.2. And my goodness, that 10-pin got put to bed. Hello, Sandman. A strike here puts Moss hugely in the driver's seat. Anything less, we might even have a chance at a tie. Wow, it's a big time grab for Moss. It's 211 now, the max for Chad Moss. Probably 221, apologies. Meanwhile, 213 the max for Brown. Great cover by Moss to retain the lead and not be shut out. No matter what, Moss will have a chance in the 10th frame to take the title. Mandatory strike mode for David Brown. Doesn't strike here, most he's going to get is 2-0. And that might just be enough to let Moss mark in the 10th frame. Foundation frame. Nope. We done. Wow. I mean, barring a miracle conversion, an absolute miracle conversion, and an absolute fall apart. Chad Moss. Only gets one on the count. My goodness. Chad Moss needs 4 pins if David Brown strikes out. What a momentum change in that 9th frame. Moss with the conversion of the baby split. Brown knew if he struck out, he really put some pressure on Moss in the 10th frame. Instead, Greek Church and done. Going to be too little, too late for David Brown. Second place money today, $1,500, but it's not going to match the $3,000 for first place, thanks to the $2,000 added by Bowlers headquarters into the prize fund that guaranteed that $3,000 on top, along with the $660 bet to win pot, funded by the $20 entries per bowler by the Bowlers. Oh, boy, what David Brown would do to get that shot in the 9th frame back. Looks up, he knows it's done. I mean, it's so easy to throw him when you're done. The body relaxes, the mind relaxes, and it's like butter, as they say. Just butter. How many times have we seen it all over bowling? All over bowling, no matter what the level. Somebody gets an open frame in the 9th, match done, and all of a sudden the other bowler gets up, places all 3 in the pocket in the 10th frame. Chuck it down the middle, Chad Moss, and you're the winner. Stay behind the foul line. There you go. That's the way to wrap it up. There is your champion. Handshakes from Andy Mills as well. $3,660. Not sure if Chad's entered tomorrow in the Milwaukee Open, but we will see you there. Either in person at Country Lane starting at 9 a.m. for A-Squad qualifying, or online on the 10 of the Deck YouTube channel, as we'll take you through once again, start to finish. Chad just having a little fun with everybody. Last ball of the event. have a little fun with it, Chad. You're the champion. So once again, 9 a.m. tomorrow, we will see you
Congratulations, Chad Moss.
from Country Lanes in Franklin.
David Brown, 221, 183 in the finals. Taking
There you
home
see the handshakes
$3,000 first
for
place
Chad.
prize. David got $1,500
That ends our broadcasting day here on 10 on the Deck.
Decided
We'll
to
see you tomorrow
split
morning,
second
9 a.m.
So they both took 330 on
here
that.
from, or pardon me, over from Country Lanes.
Classic Lanes again for
Want to thank everybody.
the phenomenal day.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.